Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christy if you're new here, and if you are, today in this video I'm going to teach you how to make your photos look more professional looking like I showed on my Instagram. You guys are kind of always asking for some tips and tricks and like how do I make my Instagram photos look more professional looking. And if you've been with me on this channel for a little while, you know my background in photography. I was a photographer for quite a while before I started my YouTube channel. I love photography. It's one of my other huge passions in life. All different kinds of photography, but my favorite is portrait photography. So these days, everybody is doing it with their phone, which, I mean, these days you can take amazing photos with your phone, whether you have an iPhone, a Samsung. I mean, it really doesn't matter. They've upgraded the cameras in these phones so much that, I mean, like, I have the iPhone 11 Pro, I think, Pro Max or whatever, with the 3 different camera lenses. And I love this phone for that reason, because I can get, wide angles, I can, shoot far away, close up, it's just great. It gives me several different options. So I'm going to give you 5 exclusive tips. We're going to break this down simple. If you want to go more into detail, I'll do another video going into like editing and things like that. But for this video, I'm just going to go into 5 tips that you really need to know for beginners to start shooting like a professional would. So tip number 1, and it is the most important tip I can give you all, is lighting. Lighting is so important when it comes to your photos, I'm telling you. Now, my favorite type of lighting, and most photographers' favorite type of lighting, is natural light. I mean, from the sun. Whether the best time is what us photographers like to call the golden hour. And if you've not heard of the golden hour, that means either sunrise or sunset. So because you don't want the sun to overpower your photos, because then they're overexposed, which means basically that there's not as much color saturation in your photos. I don't want to get too in depth. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this video simple. But yeah, you want to stick with the golden hour. It gives a beautiful, soft, luminescent lighting. And always make sure that the sun is in back of your subject, whether that be yourself. You're taking a selfie of yourself. Make sure the sun is behind you. Okay, you don't want to do it in front of you because 1, you're going to be squinting from the sun beating in your eyeballs. You don't want that, okay? And number 2 is you don't, again, want to be overexposed. You don't want the sunlight to drown out the color, the natural color of your skin and what you're wearing and your makeup, of course, So always make sure it's behind you. It gives this beautiful background halo effect, and it just really brings the photo to life. There's nothing better than getting that perfect golden hour shot. Any photographer will tell you. A lot of them, that's the main time they'll shoot, especially if they don't have artificial lighting. Now, if it's artificial lighting, if you're shooting indoors or, in the dark, well, don't shoot in the dark, okay? But like right now, I'm in a room. I have a ring light. I have 2 soft boxes on either side of me, and I also have my backlighting that kind of gives a soft, again, halo effect around for my, backside. So you kind of want a 360 rotational lighting source. Even if you just have a ring light, that's fine, especially if you're just taking like headshots for your Instagram photos, beauty photos, makeup, things like that. You want to mainly get, from your waist up, or at least from your chest up. Good lighting is key importance to any photo. Tip number 2, angles. Angles are super important, okay? I'm sure most of you by now, adults especially, we know our good angles. Have you ever heard people say, oh, get my good side? Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a good side and maybe a not so flattering side. Or, you know, it's just, it brings more character and more of a more dimensional effect when you kind of angle your body, tilt it to the side, whether that be like a shoulder turn or your head angled, or even taking your camera itself. You know, you could be looking straight forward, but maybe like angle your camera off to the side. And the other side tip I will tell you is try to always take your photos from this angle, from the back end of your phone rather than the front like this. Try to, you know, angle it this way and hit the side button. I have an iPhone, so I don't know, depending on what phone you have. I also do have, and I will link it below, a stand for my iPhone, as well as, it's very cheap off of Amazon, as well as a direct shooting button that links to my phone, so it's hands-free. And this way I just hit the button and the phone takes the photo for me, makes it very simple and easy, so I can get lots of different shots in a short amount of time and I don't have to keep fangling with my phone back and forth, you know. But yeah, angles are super important. Angling your camera is huge, okay? I usually, especially for Instagram, I will always do an up and down photo rather than what they call a landscape photo. I'll take a portrait photo where my phone is straight up and down like this, because one, not only does it kind of crop out correctly for Instagram, the actual resizing, but if you're just doing Instagram photos or you want a nice beautiful portrait, you know, even to print out, hang on your wall, most people want a portrait style, you know, 8x10, 5x7, 4x6, you know, things like that. So especially if it's just of one person, go portrait mode, because one, you're gonna make yourself look a little bit more slender. Especially, I always tell people, hold your phone up a little bit more, like not eye level, and definitely don't hold your phone down below. Hold your phone upwards and kind of angle it down towards you. So this way it will shrink down, it will slenderize your face, it will, you know, make everything look much more flattering, believe me. When you're doing landscape mode, it makes everything look wider because it's a wider angle lens. So it's going to make your face look wider. It's going to make your features look wider. So that's big tips that I can give you on, you know, taking selfies or even taking portraits of your kids, your family. Now, the next tip is, if you are taking pictures of your kids, your family, and you want them to look more professional looking, I personally, as a portrait photographer, I love more so candid photos rather than, and I'm not saying candid photos where, you know, your kid's taking a bite of a hot dog, and, you know, cute candid photos where they're not looking at your camera, you know, necessarily, or they're not really paying attention. You just wait for that perfect moment and take the shot. You know, you'll get some of the best photos that way, I'm telling you. And even when you are doing selfies, especially if you've got that hand-free button or whatever, try doing it to where, like, you're maybe like looking off to an angle, or you are kind of like candidly smiling or thinking of something funny, and, you know, making yourself naturally laugh. It just comes off looking so much more professional and beautiful than a posed photo. You know what I'm saying? Those can be gorgeous as well. I kind of would do switch ups with my posing and my candid photos to give my clients a versatile, you know, variety of what they wanted, because, you know, I could get creative with different poses, but I would still try to make, you know, them laugh or look off somewhere, you know, tell the kids like, you know, look up there, there's a bird over there, even if I had to tell a little fib or something, you know, and or make just a stupid little joke to get them naturally laughing and smiling. It just comes out so much more professional looking and beautiful. You love those candid shots, and I'll actually put in some examples. I put in some on my Instagrams of my photography. I also do have a photography page that I'll also link below, so you can see some of the different examples that I'm talking about. And I shot, you know, different models and things like that. And again, you know, it would be super important to not only get those posed shots, but also to get those candid but not candid shots, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to posing, my fourth tip, okay, posing is also a big thing, because again, we're talking about angles. It's going to make a huge difference. Like I said, where you're shooting upwards, it makes you look more slender. Well, another tip too is anything that's closest to the lens. Say I really want to, like, I love my eyes, so I want to really, you know, get my eyes to stand out more. Anything that's closer to the lens is going to look larger. Anything further away from the lens is going to appear smaller. So if you angle your body, say maybe you don't have the biggest tatas or whatever, you know what I mean? You can pose yourself to where you're kind of pushing out your chest a little bit more, so it's pushed towards the camera. And you might want to like angle your chin out more to give more of like a contour, and kind of like angle off to the side. You know, you always want to think of different angles to make it look more 3D, more realistic, you know what I mean? You never want a flat photo, because it just does not look flattering on anybody. I don't care, even a supermodel. It will look much more professional and sexy, if you will, if you know your body. Okay, we all have body parts that we're not proud of, or, you know, insecurities or whatever. If you got a big booty and you don't like that, okay, push the booty a little bit outwards, okay, away from the lens, so this way it doesn't seem as large, okay? If you've got big beautiful breasts and you want to show them off, that's fine too, you know, push them straight to the camera lens. But, you know, same thing with your hair. If you love your hair and you really want that to be focused in, kind of use your hands and things like that, and you can showcase your face as well as your hair by kind of like making a, you know, pushed forward along with your face and everything. Or, you know, sometimes too, the angle of your hair can actually also slenderize your face. So use what you've got, so it makes it look like you're tall. Or another trick for tall, okay, if I had shorter clients, even with myself sometimes, and I'm having someone take the photo for me just of myself, I will tell them, because I'm short, I'm only about 5'1.5", maybe 5'2" if I'm lucky. A great trick is to stand away from them and angle, you have to bend down, angle your camera lens upwards like this, so this way they're going to appear much taller than they actually are, and they're also going to appear slender, you know what I mean, tall, slender, lean, you know. But There are so many tips and tricks, you would be surprised. If you've never shot full length, then, you know, try those different angles, because sometimes those come out better than, you know, just the headshots, or, you know, it all depends on what you're comfortable with. And same thing with your waist, and, you know, if you're more of a curvy woman or whatever, again, try to angle your waist outwards and push your body to, you know, an angle that's more flattering for you. Always, you know, stand up straighter or sit up straighter and taller. Push your chin outwards, so it kind of gives you more of that neck that I'm talking about, and also like lengthen your neck as well. There's kind of a lot of tips and tricks to learn when you're, but take many photos and then pick your favorite one. That's what I do. Now, when it comes to editing, my favorite apps, okay, first I will take my photos most of the time, okay? And these days, everybody uses apps. I don't care who you are. Okay, a lot of times you'll see hashtag no filter. Yeah, there's some sort of filter. And if not, the photo looks nice, but it's never going to look fully professional. And I'm not saying go ham and go overboard and crazy with, you know, editing. Because some people, oh, they love their FaceTune. They love their FaceTune. Even sometimes I gotta watch myself, you know, calm it down with the FaceTune, and, you know, softening those wrinkles and skin and whatever, you know, like calm it down a little bit. But yeah, I will go in there. Professionally, I would always use Photoshop, but for my Instagram personal photos, I just bring it into Lightroom or FaceTune. And, you know, soften up, you know, different areas if need be. But the main tool that I use FaceTune for is to really, you know, capture the details in my eyes for my makeup, and especially my eye looks and things like that. You spend all that time working on your makeup, you really want it to stand out in those photos. So that's super important to me. And once I do all of that, you know, I can also edit the saturation and the contrast of the photo, and, you know, really punch it up to where it looks just a little bit sharper and nicer quality image. I will say this phone takes excellent photos, and most phones these days, like I said, if you have a newer phone within the past few years, they've got great camera lenses, and they just keep getting better. It's incredible to me. Anyway, after I go from FaceTune, I go into an app called PhotoRoom, and I will link up the app here so you can see. That's how I change the background in a lot of my photos that you see on Instagram. And then I can just put my image in, like my body, my face, whatever, into the photo and change out the background, because maybe I don't always want this background, you know what I'm saying? You want to change it up. Plus too, they've got some really cool, you know, backgrounds, so you can always have something different. You can have it either be very plain and very, you know, professional looking, white, black, radiant, you know, or they have ones that like full on landscaping to where it looks like you're in Paris or something. Those look a little bit, you can tell they've been edited too much. And even some of mine, obviously you can tell they're edited, but it just brings a whole new element, I think, of creativity and fun. And if you ever wanted to, you know, make a portfolio or something like that, you could easily do so, you know, with these different apps that I will link in the description bar for you so you can download them. I think they're all free apps that I use personally. So that's the main reason that I use PhotoRoom, and then after that is pretty much it. I use those main two apps, and you know, other than once in a while I will use Lightroom, because that's also, you know, kind of part of Photoshop to where I can play with the, you know, contrast or white balance. It's more photography, skilled editing programs, but you don't need that, you know, to really make your photos come to life, as long as you're using, you know, a little bit of face tuning, or not even. I mean, these days you can literally go into your phone right under edit. When I go into my photos, I can choose any one of my photos, select it, you know, like this one here, and I can just hit edit on my phone, and boom, you have all these different, you know, highlights, exposure, shadows, brightness, black balance or black point, saturation, vibrance, the warmth, the temperature, the sharpness, the noise, which you know, I don't usually play around with the whole noise and anything like that. That's basically like the graininess of the photo. You don't really need to get into all of that. That's way more, you know, for professional needs. And when I say professional needs, I'm saying if you're gonna blow up the photo. But for Instagram, it's so small of a picture that it's pretty sharp and good quality as is, so you don't have to do a ton of editing, trust me, for it to look really nice. But yeah, if you guys want me to actually go into how I edit each photo, like step by step, I can definitely do another another video for you going into much more detail. But I wanted to keep this simple because, you know, the biggest tips I can give you is, you know, getting that photo right the first time. Because, I mean, even if you don't know anything about editing whatsoever, getting that perfect shot, you know, by, like I said, tip number 1, lighting, massively important. Tip number 2, angles, angle of your camera, angle of, you know, where you're standing, your background, whatever, you know, pay attention to those things. Number 3, candid photos. Try to get candid photos or really nice portrait style photos, you know, to where it's posed but it doesn't look too posy, if you get what I'm saying. And tip number 4, knowing how to pose your body so you look more professional and you're showing off your best features and angling yourself and angling the camera so you can feel more confident in photos. And when you feel more confident in photos and you get more comfortable with the camera, that's when those photos really come to life and, you know, you look your best. And then there's a lot less editing, trust me. So, yeah, and then if tip number 5, editing, it can definitely make a huge difference in your photos for sure. You know, even if it's little tiny things like just punching up that contrast or that saturation a little bit more, you know, to really bring out the details and the sharpness and the, you know, colors and vibrancy of the photo, especially makeup photos, since we all love our makeup, you know, we want to show true colors, true to form as best as we can anyhow. Yeah, I hope these tips have helped you. And again, if you want me to go into further detail on my editing for my 2 main apps, I can even teach you a little bit of Lightroom if you really want me to go into that as well. But for Instagram, I mainly use FaceTune and PhotoRoom. Those are the 2 apps that I will definitely link for you below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed some of the examples of the photographs that I showed. You know, some were taken with my camera, some were taken with my iPhone, a lot of them were taken with my iPhone, so the quality is definitely there. You can get some amazing photos with your iPhone or Samsung or whatever kind of phone you have, as long as it, you know, has a decent camera in it. It's not a super old phone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all are doing very well. And don't forget that giveaway ends July 31st. So jump on that if you haven't entered already, and make sure you're subscribed and follow me on Instagram to enter that giveaway. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.